Okay, in this tutorial we're going to look at some annotation, and I'm going to use a very basic brick to show that. We're going to set up some text, we're going to set up the text style, and then we're going to look at dimensions, set up a dimension style. Then we're going to set up a leader style, which involves making an arrow with text. Okay, so first thing you need to do, let's go on to the Annotate tab here of the ribbon. And you'll see across here, if you just look there, you get text, dimensions, and then we'll skip center lines for now and we'll go to leaders. Okay. Now, the most important thing is this little diagonal arrow here, which takes you into your text style manager. Here again, this bit takes you into your dimension style manager. And this little diagonal arrow here takes you into a leader style manager. Okay, so we're going to start off, we need to start off with text. Okay, that's the best way to do it. And to demonstrate this, we'll start off, go back to home again to do let's draw a brick. 215. It's a bit too far out there, so I'm going to zoom in. 215 by 65, back to 215 again, and then snap up to the end there. Okay, so I'm going to try and get some text so we can actually put in here brick, and then I'm going to stick some dimensions on that brick. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to decide what size of a model are we dealing with here. Do we want our text to be the same size as the brick, or do we want it to be a little bit less than the size of the brick? Okay. This is 65, so if we imagine that perhaps maybe a dimension size of 15 or 20 might be useful. Okay, so the text size that Autodesk give to you initially is 2.5 millimeters. Now, if you consider that from here to here is 65 millimeters, okay, just zoom in a wee bit, even 2.5 millimeters would be very small to see. So we've really got to create another text style to make it up to about 15. So let's go back into the Annotate tab here. Go to the little text style diagonal arrow, and then it comes up with this dialog box, and this is how you set up your text styles. Now you want a load of text styles. If you're going to build up a template, you want to try and get as many text styles to suit your project as possible. So the first thing to do is to go to New. We're going to set up a new text style, and I'm going to say that this is going to be, say, let's call it, we're on the model page, so let's call it text model 15. Okay, so let's just imagine we're putting in the text dimension of 15. That's how high our text is going to be. We go across to height, and we want the same figure here as here, so that whenever you go into your panel up here, you'll see straight away it'll say 15. You'll know that that's 15 high. Then we go to apply and then close. So now you'll see there text model 15, and I've called it 15, so I know that that height is going to be 15 units high. Now you want to apply the text. So far you've just made up the text style. Now you want to apply it. You go across here to multi-line text, but you go below that. You can choose either if you want, but let's go for single line text. And you want to start your text roughly here. So click there and then give it a good strong direction across the way. You've got to make sure your ortho mode's on, because if it's not, your text will go all slanty. Click on the ortho mode, and once you've got a good direction, then start to type brick. Okay. Now in this case, you can click away from it, or you can click enter, and well, it actually doesn't work in that case. So you've got to enter and enter. I'll just do that again. Single line, Start from about here, get a good strong direction across, brick, now enter. That finishes the rotation of it, and then enter again. Now let's test that out. Let's go into the Home tab. Well, in fact, let's just type in distance. So we're going to measure from the top of the text downwards, and there you can see it's just about 15. Okay, so that's about right. Now we can make that 10 if we wanted. We could have made it maybe even less 10. We would still have seen it, but you know, 2.5 is really probably going to be too small for that. Let's make up another text style. Let's make this one up to be say 5. I think 5 might just be good enough for us. So text model 5. Okay, that we've got to change that to 5 so that this 5 matches this 5. Then apply it and close. And we've got to, now we're on text model 5. If you click in here, you'll see the different text model sizes you've made. The previous one was 15. This is the one we're using. Go in here and brick, enter, and enter. So let's say we're happy with the second one that we did. I'm just going to move this one up a wee bit. Now we're ready to use or set up some dimensions, and we're going to make the dimension digit size the same as our brick. So if we go into this little diagonal arrow here, and you come up with a dimension style manager dialog box. The first thing we want to do is click new. Let's call this dim 5. Okay, never mind about this. Just click continue to move on. And it goes into another layer of tables and options. The first thing we want to do is we want to go across to text, and we want to select the text style that we made previously. Click on this little arrow, go down to text model 5, and you'll see that it gives you a little preview, and we'll change that in a second. Looks okay. Move across to primary units up here. Go to precision. Click to 0 because millimeters is precise enough. Happy enough with that. The text maybe looks a wee bit too big, but we could maybe change that later. Then go across to symbols and arrows. Make the arrow size the same as your text. Press OK. Once we've done that, close. Now we're going to apply this dimension size. So you can go into, perhaps this is the one I like to go into here, linear. Make sure your snaps are set here, your object snap settings. Click there, go to the right, click again, drag it up, and then land it with another click. So that's 215. Again, we're applying this text, or we're applying the dimension size now. So click once, click twice, drag it back, click a third time there. Okay. Now to bring these back a little bit further away from your model, this is your model here, the brick size here. That's your model there that you've just selected there. To bring this back a wee bit further, go back into your diagonal arrow, go to modify, go to lines, and then down here you can tick the fixed length extension lines, and you could make that say 10. Okay, 10. Close that, and you'll see it's brought it back to just 10 millimeters there. Okay, you could play around with that if you wanted. that you don't want your extension lines getting too close to your model. It just gets confusing. The next thing we're going to do is some leaders. So it's the same idea, a little bit different this time. Go to the diagonal arrow here, leaders, and it says, do you want to set current new? So it's new again, and we'll call this leader 5. Sticking with 5 at the minute. Continue. Go to content. Go across to, or sorry, go down to text style. Go to the little arrows to the side and pick out the text style that you originally put in right at the start of this tutorial. Then go across to leader format. Change the arrowhead to 5. Well, 4 wasn't too far off. Let's stick to 5. Then OK that. Then close that. Now we're going to apply this leader. So it's an arrow with text. And let's start our arrow from, let's get this ortho back to something a bit more elastic. Okay. And then you can type in facing brick, for example. Just to be a bit different. Enter, enter. Well, in this case, you click away from it. Okay, let's do that again. Multi-leader, arrow, click once, then the text starts to flash, the little cursor. Type in facing brick, and then just click away from it. Okay. Now the good thing about this is all connected, right? It means that if you move this, it'll move with it. Okay, you can move this arrow out a wee bit. So very useful for starting to put in lots and lots of notes into your model. Okay, so that's the end of that tutorial, and in the next tutorial we'll do a drawing of a concrete sill and we'll put some hatch on it.